This Kingpyn tournament is stacked, and the first round fights have been revealed.
It's done it from time to time. Just have a bit of...
From the United Kingdom, the Nightmare. Hey!
Alright, so this tournament has some great competition. We see a lot of familiar faces that we've seen in the ring multiple times, and we also see some new guys who may have fought before but are not as popular in the space. I do think this tournament has a lot of potential. I think it's a really cool idea. I love that they got the fighters that they did. They got some big names in the space, guys like a Nissan Gibb and King Kenny, but I'm also glad to see them introduce some new people who haven't fought on Misfits or any of the other big mainstream events, with guys like My Mate Nate and Winderson. So the first round fights are confirmed, and the first one that was drawn was King Kenny versus My Mate Nate. I think this is the perfect opponent for Kenny, and this was the best guy he could have got matched up with. And I'm not saying that because I think Nate is trash. That's not the case here. I don't think he's bad. In fact, I don't think anyone on this tournament is bad and has no business being here. I think everyone here somewhat belongs and can put up a good fight. But I have watched Nate's past few fights, and he has never fought without headgear, and he kind of has a similar style to Kenny, in which he's not just going to rush in, he's more of a technical fighter. And I think that with Kenny coming off of his loss, this is the type of fighter that Kenny needs to go against. Because in this fight, we know Kenny wants to prove that he is a fighter, not just a technical boxer. He keeps saying over and over now that he is going to throw lots of punches this fight. This is what he wants to prove. And if he were to get an opponent like Tom Zanetti or a Nissan Gibb, guys who put on the pressure, I think that would just be a mistake to insert this new style for Kenny, and he would get caught and it would get bad early. He's going to keep this fight technical, but I think he's going to look to add in more punches, more volume. And I do think Nate overall is one of the weaker opponents on the tournament. He does have experience, he's not bad, but I think with two guys who have been technical in the past, King Kenny looks a little more sharp with his shots, and I think the guys who put on pressure for King Kenny are the guys who are going to give him problems, and that's not Nate's fighting style. So yeah, overall, I like this matchup for Kenny. I think this is a great chance for him to get some redemption for his last fight, and I'm looking forward to it. The next fight is Gibb versus Austin McBroom number 2. And I was not expecting this fight to happen so early. I was hoping we'd get this second fight eventually in this tournament, but I was not expecting it to be the first fight. And honestly, I don't think this is what Austin really wants either. I think he wanted some more build-up fights before he went to Gibb, because this fight is one of the most hyped fights of the entire tournament. First round, second round, it doesn't matter. This is going to be maybe the biggest fight besides the final one. And as of right now, I think you have to lean towards Gibb, but do not underestimate Austin McBroom here, because he is a solid fighter in this space. I know what happened with Gibb. I know Gibb knocked him down 5 times, but that does not mean Austin is bad. Austin actually looked very good in that first and second round for the Gibb fight. You can tell this sport comes to Austin pretty naturally. He picks it up very well and quick, and he is just a very good athlete overall. The key here is how much has Austin's cardio improved since the last fight, because that is what let him down in the first fight against Gibb, and you already know Gibb's gas tank is pretty insane. This is a 5-round fight, so if McBroom has improved his cardio, we could see a closer fight than a lot of people might think. This is the fight I'm definitely most excited for the first round at least, and I do think it's going to be a very competitive fight, a close fight, and I'm excited to see it. Now the third fight is Jarvis versus Tom Zanetti. And I do not like this fight for Jarvis at all. I know Jarvis had his first fight a while back now, and he looked pretty solid. And he has just been training for a very long time. And people have been waiting for him to return to the scene. And this is one tough comeback fight. Tom Zanetti is a tough opponent. We saw his fight with Slim. It was a very close fight. against Slim, who's one of the best boxers in this whole space. Because Zanetti has a crazy chin, he's not going to back down, and he's going to push the pace, and he's going to come after you. And I don't know if Jarvis is experienced enough to handle that. Jarvis is a young kid, man. Jarvis is only 21 years old, and Zanetti is even 33 years old. So Zanetti's coming into here with that grown man strength. And I think Jarvis has still a lot to learn inside the ring, even though he's been training for all this time. I don't know if he's going to be able to put up with all the pressure and toughness that Zanetti brings to the ring. I could be wrong here, but this is definitely a fight I would worry about if you're a Jarvis fan. For his last fight, he only weighed about 155 pounds, I believe, and has bulked up to 170 specifically for this tournament. So Jarvis is definitely on the smaller side for people in this tournament. Some people were saying that he's actually the smallest opponent in the whole thing, naturally. And Zanetti definitely walks around way higher than this limit, so he has to cut down to get to 170. And Jarvis is gaining 15 pounds just to get in here. So I believe that's going to play a big factor into this fight as well, with the constant pressure. And when he lands on Jarvis, it's not going to be pretty, man. That's just my early prediction for this fight. I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see how much Jarvis has improved since his last fight. I just think it's a tough one for him. So the last fight is Whindersson versus the mystery opponent. So there's not really much to say here because we don't know who he's fighting, and I don't really know much about Whindersson at all. I know he's actually got some skills and he's experienced, so I don't know how good he is. I'm assuming he's actually pretty decent. That's what I've been hearing. I'm hearing that he's actually a pretty solid fighter. So I don't have much to say about this. We can't really say much until the mystery fighter is announced. So I really have no idea who this mystery opponent is going to be. I don't think it's going to be Deji because I'm pretty sure he's supposed to fight on Misfits in May. Not much to say until that's announced, and I really have no idea who it's going to be. That should be pretty interesting. Which fight do you guys think is the most exciting? Do you think there's going to be any upsets? Can Austin McBroom pull off the upset? I'm excited to find out. Subscribe for more boxing update and content if you feel like it. That'd be pretty cool. Thank you for watching. Peace.